Wait, imagine choosing to build here. Marshy ground, flooding rivers, disease-carrying insects everywhere. No natural walls, no easy defense, and brutal summer heat with zero relief. Almost every condition here works against survival. And yet, someone built a city. Not just any city, but an empire's beginning. This location should have doomed everyone instantly. Somehow, it became the center of civilization. Here's exactly how that actually happened. Rome's exact location wasn't chosen randomly, though. 7 hills rose above a swampy lowland, while the Tiber River curved directly through it. Rivers meant trade routes and fresh water, but this particular river held real danger. Its surrounding banks stayed wet and marshy, and between the hills sat low, flood-prone ground. Early settlers had to choose their footing carefully. Building high meant safety from rising water. Building low meant convenience and constant risk. That river didn't stay calm and cooperative. Heavy rain sent the Tiber rising dramatically, and floodwaters regularly poured into the low valley. Homes and streets vanished beneath rushing water. This wasn't a rare, occasional disaster either. Flooding returned again and again over generations. Early Romans had to adapt constantly around this. Some buildings were elevated on stone platforms, while others were simply rebuilt after every flood. Living here meant learning to expect disaster regularly. Flooding wasn't even the deadliest local threat. The surrounding wetlands harbored something far worse. Disease-carrying insects thrived in standing water, and malaria spread quietly through the marshy lowlands. Ancient people didn't understand the actual cause. They simply noticed illness followed the wet seasons. Entire communities suffered during certain times yearly. This silent threat shaped where people dared live. Higher, drier ground gradually became far more desirable. The marsh earned a genuinely feared reputation locally. Beyond water and disease, heat posed real danger. Mediterranean summers brought intense, relentless sunshine daily. Stone streets absorbed and radiated heat constantly. Without shade or relief, exhaustion came quickly. Early structures offered little real protection initially, and thin walls trapped heat rather than blocking it. Something had to change in how they built. Survival meant designing specifically around this climate. Comfort wasn't the only goal here anymore. It was becoming a matter of daily survival. Eventually, Romans decided to solve this directly. They began engineering a massive underground drainage system. Stone channels were dug beneath the lowland valley, carrying excess water safely away. This transformed swampy, unusable ground into solid land. Workers labored for years completing the project, and the engineer required was genuinely groundbreaking for its time. This drainage system became remarkably effective and lasting. Portions of it still function even today. The swamp that once threatened Rome was finally tamed. Draining water away solved only half the problem. The growing city still desperately needed clean water. Local sources alone couldn't support a growing population, so Roman engineers looked much further away. Massive stone channels carried water from distant hills, and some stretched for many miles across landscapes. Careful, precise slopes let gravity do the work. This fresh water reached fountains and public baths. Clean water dramatically improved daily health and life. Engineering solved what nature alone couldn't provide. Water access changed everything, but height still mattered. The 7 hills offered natural safety and advantage. Higher ground meant escaping floods and disease alike. It also offered valuable defensive positioning against threats. Temples and important buildings rose atop these hills, while wealthier residents gradually moved toward elevated neighborhoods. The lower valley became a bustling public center, where markets, forums, and gathering spaces filled the area. This layout balanced practicality with earlier hard lessons. Every hill told part of the city's survival story. The surrounding land held one more surprising advantage. Volcanic activity nearby had left behind unusual materials. Romans discovered this volcanic ash created remarkable concrete. It hardened incredibly strong, even underwater eventually. This concrete allowed dramatically larger, sturdier structures. Buildings could now withstand floods and time itself. What once threatened the region became a genuine advantage. Roman concrete transformed construction across the entire empire. Some structures built this way still stand today. Danger, once again, had quietly created real innovation. Engineering solved water. Now, comfort needed attention too. Thick stone walls helped block the harshest heat, while shaded courtyards became central to comfortable Roman homes. Public baths offered genuine relief during hot afternoons, and water features cooled the air naturally throughout neighborhoods. Wealthy homes included elegant open-air garden spaces. Even narrow streets were designed with shade in mind, while tall buildings cast cooling shadows across pathways below. Every design choice fought against the same relentless heat. Comfort, like survival, required constant clever thinking. Summer wasn't the only extreme Rome faced yearly. Winters brought their own cold, uncomfortable challenges. Wealthier Roman homes developed a clever heating solution. Warm air was channeled beneath elevated floor surfaces, keeping entire rooms comfortably warm consistently. Fires below fed heat directly into hollow floors. Heat rose gently and spread evenly throughout rooms. This heating method was remarkably advanced for its time. It allowed comfortable living through harsh winter months. Rome adapted to both climate extremes successfully. A growing population created yet another serious challenge. Feeding this many people required careful, constant planning. Local land alone couldn't support the entire population, so grain was shipped in from distant fertile regions. Massive storage facilities protected food from moisture and pests, while organized distribution ensured food reached crowded neighborhoods reliably. Poor harvests elsewhere could threaten the entire city. This vulnerability required constant vigilance and backup planning. Food security became as important as any wall. Survival here always meant planning multiple steps ahead. Dense construction created one more dangerous vulnerability entirely. Wooden buildings packed tightly together burned dangerously fast. A single spark could threaten entire crowded neighborhoods, and fire spread quickly through narrow, crowded city streets. This danger led to organized firefighting responses eventually. Trained groups responded quickly whenever fires broke out. Water relays passed buckets through determined human chains. Building codes gradually required safer construction materials too. These lessons came from painful, costly past experience. Rome learned, again and again, through genuine hardship. Every single threat here demanded a real solution. Floods led to drainage. Disease led to elevation. Heat led to shaded design. Cold led to heating. Hunger led to trade networks. Fire led to organization. Each challenge quietly forced genuine innovation forward. Slowly, this dangerous location became remarkably well adapted. What should have destroyed a settlement instead built expertise. That expertise eventually extended far beyond the city itself. Roman engineering spread across the entire known world. All of it was rooted in surviving this one difficult place. So, why does any of this actually matter? This city genuinely shouldn't have survived its beginning. Every natural condition here worked against its people, but challenge after challenge was met with cleverness. Not luck, not magic, just persistent human problem solving. Modern engineering still borrows directly from these solutions. Drainage systems, aqueducts, heating, all trace back here. This wasn't a city built despite its environment. It was a city built by mastering it completely. Sometimes, the hardest ground builds the strongest civilization.